Hello, patrons. Thank you for supporting me. I realized June, maybe even most of May, was a bit of a light month. I've had health issues. I'm pretty sure you're all aware of that. I'm a little bit closer to getting better. I understand that my content has dipped a bit, but for as light as June was, hopefully July will be that much fuller. If not July, then probably August. I've had a couple of hurdles, not making excuses, although I guess I am making excuses. If anybody deserves these excuses and or reasons why it's taken so long and what's going on with me, it's you guys. I appreciate your support. But here is the first piece. This is relatively easy, so don't give me any credit for this. This is just me reading a list. But this is the halfway point. I'm recording this, it's July 1st. It's fucking disgusting here in New York. My sweat is sweating. But yeah, let's get to that. This is the halfway point. Last year I only saw 80 films in all of 2017. The running tally for, I think 2015 I saw like 113. I think I saw 105 and 16 and 17 was an interesting year because I was in Denmark. But I think I'm looking at 38 films here, and I usually see the bulk of my movies in October, November, December. So we might be on par for about 100. I don't know what quantity means, but this is a list about quality, I guess, right? But yeah. Number 38, I'll put an asterisk on this as we walked out 25 minutes into the film. I don't even know if we made the first act mark, the end of the first act, but it's 1517 to Paris. I enjoy certain war films. I enjoy certain, I want to call them like American propaganda movies. I'm not against religious film or faith-based film, but this felt so pure flicks-y, and the acting just wasn't good. And I'm not talking about the real-life actors or the real-life people, the soldiers that played themselves in this movie. Just really bizarre choices everywhere. Some cringeworthy lines. Clint Eastwood directed this. It's troublesome, and I'm not saying, you know, that I don't enjoy Clint Eastwood's view on the American services, because American Sniper is one of my favorite movies in the last 15 years. It's one of my, it's up there for war movies in the last 10, 15 years. But this just, it's not really a war movie, I guess. Listen, I read the rest of the synopsis. I have no interest. It's that bad. I left, and that. How about this first segue? That'll tell you something about what's coming up next on this list. Cool. What does this say about 1517 to Paris? It's really hard to fuck up mafia movies because, I mean, there's this cynical humor that can always be laced into mafia movies, and Gotti just. First of all, maybe the fact that John Travolta is playing John Gotti really drags me out of it, but the structure of the movie is really weird. He suffers a loss, and like he's an antagonist, but they're like, it almost seems like they're trying to present him as the protagonist, It's really presented weird. It jumps all over the place. It feels very television movie-ish. John Travolta really needs to do something better. And MoviePass, you got me. I saw it. Congratulations. It's got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. I would say that 1517 to Paris. Listen, if you gave me the first 20 minutes of each movie, I'd actually rather watch Gotti, but I don't know what that's saying. That's not saying much at all. There are better like A&E documentaries on Gotti. Ugh. Number 36, Action Point. Watch the trailer, you saw the movie. Scripted Jackass just doesn't work, especially when they're really trying to, I don't know what the idea was in trying to make Johnny Knoxville's character, like just make Jackass 4. Like seriously? It's not good. It's not, again, anything that's worthwhile is in the trailer. And the story that they wrap around all those stunts, not good. I wish they were truer to the actual action park. But I guess they couldn't. I don't know, it doesn't matter. This is coming from a man, so you take this with a grain of salt. It feels like Working Girl meets Shallow Hal without any of the charisma. Like the things that Amy Schumer's character does is almost ironic or in spite of herself. There aren't many laugh lines in this comedy. Like, I don't know, I'm assuming it's supposed to be a message movie, but just really, really weird steps were taken to present some of what they were trying to do. Again, I don't understand some aspects of being a female and confidence and things like that, but again, it's go watch Shallow Hal if you want. The thing that really gets me, like just really works me up, the fact that she was striving to be a receptionist, like that was just, that I couldn't, like that was in my head for a good 20 minutes. Like her dream job was a receptionist. Like if it was ironic or tongue-in-cheek, then great, but they never, like the tone of it never presented it as a, I don't know. Comedies are pretty weak this year. Speaking of which, Life of the Party. Melissa McCarthy and her husband need to stop making movies. There's a big difference between, you know, these riff, like you could tell, like they just let the camera roll in some of these, you know, these laugh moments, and it just doesn't work for film. Like if you're in a troupe, in an improv troupe, and you're doing that kind of stuff live for an audience, it maybe works. But like, and the reason I say that is because you get a feel for the room, and if the room starts dying off, you segue into something else. When you do it on film, you do the improv style in film, if it's not working, it just lingers and lingers.
Fucking lingerer, man.
Yeah, totally.
Linger.
Yeah, no, we get it. No, yeah, okay. Oh, you're repeating yourself. It's almost like, and again, this is my experience with performing live. It's almost like anybody, when they were filming, the people that were in the crew were just rolling in the aisles laughing, and that's why they kept going. So like, it stuff like that just doesn't translate. Like, I don't know, maybe some people were rolling. Like there are some comedies, like I'll never forget Something About Mary, the infamous jizz in the hair moment. That was a funny moment. I used to work at the movie theater when that movie came out, and sure enough, that laugh was so heavy the line that always followed whatever she said was never heard. And that's because the laugh carried so much, but the line wasn't important. In movies like this, like Life of the Party, they just keep repeating themselves like the line is the funny thing, and it's not. It's I don't know. I'm not a professor of comedy. What the fuck? Number 33, The Commuter. Liam Neeson in a tube. Not quite as good as Nonstop. I'll admit I saw this at home when I wasn't really in the mood for this. I like Liam Neeson in like Run All Night. I actually quite enjoyed that movie. A lot of people don't like that movie. I'm tired. I'm tired. Liam Neeson stuck in a tube in public transport. Woo. No biggie. There's far better Liam Neeson vehicles out there. Vehicles, get it? Number 32, Stillwater, which is an independent film. You may have a hard time finding it. I don't remember. I think I was sent a screener of this. It features the Hank's son that isn't Colin. Okay story, a whodunit of sorts. A bunch of guys get together in a camp and get really fucked up on drugs, and somebody goes missing, and then it's a bit of a whodunit. Okay, it's quite okay for the budget. What'd I give it? I think I gave it 2 stars. So we're out of the utter dreck at this point. It's, you know, if you're watching it at home, it's not that offensive. I think a little. It picks up for the third act, but it gets a little stretchy. It's, again, independent film where they're trying to make that feature length. So yeah, Stillwater. I don't have much terrible to say about it. There's far worse independent films that I've seen in the last couple of years that I think we all know what we're talking about. Number 31, Rampage. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather see Godzilla. I'd rather just remake Godzilla, King Kong. I mean, I get it. It's kind of the same thing. But it's strange. The Rock has kind of missed a couple of times now. So well, actually, no, Jumanji was a hit. Between this and what the fuck, he missed last year. Oh, Baywatch. I wasn't a big fan of this, but I'm not, you know, again, we're at 2.5 stars here. I've already forgotten. I think I saw it 2 weeks ago. I've forgotten most of it. It's just action fodder. Number 30, Tag. Interesting idea. They get the joke. They know that they are fully aware of just how silly it is, the premise, and they embrace it. This is a movie I probably would rank higher if I did not see it in a theater. If I saw it at home, it's a little silly, and there's a bit of a heartstring tug towards the end there. You know, serviceable. We're at this section of the list where they're serviceable. They're time killers. I wouldn't go out and seek these movies again. But if you're bored and you want some sort of blank version of your Friday night filled, sure. Tag. A bunch of grown-ups playing tag. It was, R-rated movie. Another R-rated movie that doesn't focus on sex. Well, I mean, there's crude humor, but there's no, tits. I'm glad R-rated humor is not leaning heavily on nudity and stuff like that. That's what I could say about Tag. Oh my God. I don't know if you can see it, but my neck is glistening. Had to turn the air conditioner off with these 2 lights in my face. The outside temperature of 100. 29, a futile and stupid gesture. I said it wrong the first time. I can't get a break. I just can't get a fucking break. Why are we doing our lawn? It's 100 degrees out. Fuck it. It's 10 of you that are watching this. I apologize for the audio. I'm just gonna trek through it. Apologies, but you could probably see, yeah, I'm probably getting wet. Fuck it, let's just keep going. Death Wish. Good to see Bruce Willis in a movie that's not completely snoozable. Just a weird combination, like I'm too old for this shit, Bruce Willis, and Eli Roth directing an action film. And definitely doing Eli Roth things in this movie. Good time. Again, would probably appreciate this more at home. But yeah, this what am I looking? We're looking at like the next 10 or so where it's just okay. But most of these movies are kind of forgettable. 27 is Gringo. Another R-rated comedy that doesn't really focus on anything too scandalous as you would think. Sharlto Copley. I love Sharlto Copley, and I love him in comedic roles. They just wasted him in this movie. Neat little twist comedy, but you know, nothing too heady about what they're doing. Strangers Pray at Night. If you're in the Killer Flicks group, or if you're familiar with Drum Dums, good old Lee at Drum Dums, he'll have you think that this is the second coming of, you know, slashers. I don't think I agree with that. First of all, we rewatched Slasher, Strangers, a couple of weeks before, you know, maybe right before Strangers Pray at Night came out, and I didn't realize how much I didn't like the original. Then we watched Strangers Pray at Night. Some silly mistakes still made by people. The third act is okay. A lot of borrowing, which isn't exactly the worst thing, but just kind of anticlimactic, and it's okay. Can't wait to see Truth or Dare, and then maybe I'll compare that. There's two, like Truth or Dare I haven't seen yet. What is it? The Manchester, what the fuck? Winchester, I haven't seen that. There's a couple of January horror movies that we'll see if they, yeah, Strangers Pray at Night was a February, a March release. That, it was okay. That's where horror used to be, you know, decent horror used to live in February, March, but this year there was other things going on in that genre, and we'll get to that in a little bit. 7 Days in Entebbe, or Entebbe, whatever. Sorry, don't know the pronunciation there. Don't know much about the real story. Rosamund Pike. I'm going to be talking about her again in a couple of seconds, but I saw this before I saw Beirut, and they both kind of blend together, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I remember when I ranked it, when I was done with Entebbe, I gave it 3 stars. It was okay, but for the life of me, I'm sitting here, I can't remember anything that stuck out. Frederick Zoller from Inglourious Bastards and Rosamund Pike, they were presented. See, I didn't know the true story. They seemed sympathetic, and well, yeah. How do I not spoil this if you don't know the real story? If you don't know the real story, it's an interesting hostage movie that takes place in the 70s. That's, again, watch it at home. I don't think it's out in the theaters anymore, but again, if you're bored, why not? 24, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Any of you who have been following me for years knows that Jurassic World was something I was mocked for how much I enjoyed that movie. I think it was in the top 10 for me for 2015. I quite enjoyed Jurassic World. Oh, I don't know so much about Fallen Kingdom. It's not good. It's not Jurassic Park 3 bad, but it's not great. But it just felt like a bunch of different movies. And yeah, at its core, it's just a Lost World remake, but not so good. I think this is 3.5 stars. We're at the 3.5 stars phase for me, I think. This was fine. It really is a shame that not enough people saw this, and maybe this is the end for this franchise, reboot, whatever, I don't know. If you're into the video games, this is pretty true to the recent remakes that came out within the last 5 or 6 years. And that's fine to me. Like I keep saying, make Uncharted and just follow the plot of the first game. That's kind of what they did here with Tomb Raider, and that, I mean, they veered in a couple of ways, but for the most part, it was watching the game, which may not be entertaining to some people, and I guess that's why it didn't do so well, but there's that. Wow, I'm really sweating bad now, look at that. Number 22, Beirut. The other movie that I get confused with, Entebbe. John Hamm is quite a charismatic person. Rosamund Pike literally plays a woman in late 70s, early 80s movies with these brownish tinge. And I forget which is which. It's got a very second-rate Argo feel to it, for whatever that's worth. But yeah, if you've seen Argo and you want something similar while not being nearly as good, Beirut's pretty good. Mark Pellegrino, Jacob from Lost, has an actual part in this. That was interesting to see. Other than that, there's not much I could say. I'm getting so fucking hot. 21, Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado. It's a shame. It's a shame when Sicario is as good as it is. If Sicario didn't exist, I'd say this is a really good movie. Del Toro's character's interesting enough to carry the movie. Another action thriller movie that maybe I would enjoy more at home. Do you get the hint that like there are certain movies that I just would prefer to watch at home with air conditioning on? All right, number 20, Mom and Dad. Nicolas Cage, Selma Blair, really stylized thriller, like horror. It's shot like some of the really extreme moments of the Dawn of the Dead remake. Like it's present. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and it felt like it was just dipped in fizz, and that for the genre, for the pseudo horror genre, it was a refreshing take for me. Didn't put too much into it, so I mean, I think expectations usually play into a movie. And Mom and Dad, I said, oh, Nicolas Cage on another straight-to-DVD movie. What could possibly, and it ended up being, I quite enjoyed it. More than Jurassic World 2. So what does that tell you? 19, The Rachel Divide, which is a Netflix documentary about Rachel Dolezal, whatever her name is. The woman who was the head of the NAACP chapter. And turns out she's not black. Interesting movie. I think the best documentaries leave you asking, start a debate and start a discussion, and that's what this movie does. As a film, it doesn't really achieve certain things, but it got Emily and I debating quite a bit about, what is the right way and where's the line with identity. So yeah, it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, give it a watch, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then watch 15 minutes of 1517 to Paris and let me know which one you'd rather keep watching. Number 18, Blockers. Something I really didn't want to see, I really didn't want to like. And I saw it, I think, the day after I saw Life of the Party, and it was just like, yeah, see, I'm not totally into this, but this is comedy. This is what comedy on film should be. Is it fresh? Is it something completely new for the genre? No, but I laughed. That's all I really need. Tired of superhero movies. That's all I could say. Great movie. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. Just I'm tired. You could show me Citizen Kane once every year, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, doesn't crack my top 10 this year. It just happens. Den of Thieves, number 16. This one pleasantly surprised me. Another one, I watched that at home, so take that home grading. But I quite enjoyed Den of Thieves. It felt very, I mean, it's hard to watch anything like this and not think, this feels very Heat-ish. It's pretty obligatory about the manner in which it kind of rips off Heat, but it's fine. It's fine. You could do far worse. Number 15, Solo. Not terrible, really good movie. Not really, it's a good movie. It's the first Star Wars movie in maybe since Clone Wars? No, not Clone Wars, like the cartoon Clone War movie. That I've just been like, yeah, it's all right. It's a shame what's happened with everything about it making money, but it's good. I had a good time. Perfectly inoffensive Star Wars movie. That's not good enough for some people, I guess. 14, Love, Simon. A rom-com of sorts for the homosexual audience. A little light and fluffy, if you ask me. Felt very John Hughesy at moments, but I really wish they went a step or two further and went through some of the struggles that a closeted homosexual would really go through. Not total support, some troubles at school. I mean, they grace through it a little bit, but it'd be nice to have the character overcome some more obstacles and hurdles. But otherwise, it's a perfectly refreshing rom-com. Yeah, this I'm not the target audience for 8 different levels, but number 13, wow. 13, Hotel Artemis. Quirky little movie. I really want to watch it again. Sophia Boutella is an absolute badass. Jodie Foster, I forgot. I don't know when the last time I saw her in a movie was, but I forgot how much I missed Jodie Foster. But really quirky movie. They make you think that Jeff Goldblum's a bigger part of this movie. He's not. I keep getting these Repo Men vibes. It's not a similar movie. It's just like a similar. I don't know. People hate Repo Men with Jude Law. I love it, but like for some reason I have Hotel Artemis in the same universe as Repo Men. I can't tell you why, but hopefully by the 3rd quarter I'll have seen it again and maybe I can divulge further on my thoughts. In case you can't tell, I'm roasting, so I'm gonna go through this, guys. This is a halfway mark. I promise I'll go further into these for the 3rd quarter and certainly so for the full list of 2018. But number 12 is 78-52, which is a documentary on the shower scene from Psycho. If you have any interest in Hitchcock, Psycho, horror, what that scene means to horror, somebody did a little 3-minute short on that scene. You might want to check that out. You're already here on the channel. No, you're not. You're on Patreon. Patreon. See, now my tongue's melting. I did a tiny little thing. This film does it eons better. 78-52. Number 11, Super Troopers 2. I can't say anything else about it because technically I'm a producer for that film. Number 10, Unsane. incredible, incredible psychological thriller that really has you second guessing the character. And then it goes full-blown psychological horror. No, it goes from psychological horror to full-blown thriller. And it's interesting choice of camera work too with the iPhone. I'm sweating my nuts off. I promise. If comment down below if you want me to divulge further on my reasoning for this, from 10 out, and I promise I'll do it to you. But I'm suffering. Number 9 is Thoroughbreds. It's been a while since I've seen this. It was a very, very, very dry black humor. People compared it to Heathers. I wouldn't go that far, but I guess if you took Heathers and Ghost World and kind of blended them, that's how I felt about Thoroughbreds. Number 8, Ready Player One. Hints of classic Spielberg, and it's just like an 80s orgy. Remember this, but the story's pretty decent. It's a YA novel for 80s dweebs, and that's fine. Number 7, Avengers: Infinity War. If you want to hear somebody talk about it, it's everywhere on the internet. Enjoy yourself. I'm not doing it. Number 6, Isle of Dogs. Wes Anderson, the craftsmanship, the effort that's put into this movie, on top of the fact that it's a Wes Anderson movie. It's perfectly. I keep saying perfectly. Why am I doing that? My brain is frying. It fits. See, I think I like Fantastic Mr. Fox a little bit more. They're both short action, stop motion animation, but still incredible. It's what? It's 6. What am I arguing about? 5 is Deadpool 2. Love Deadpool, R-rated comic book movie that kind of roasts comic book movies. I'm in. Thank you. Number 4. Game Night. Those of you who know how much I love Clue have probably heard that it's quite similar to Clue, and it does it well. And it's Clue meets the game, and that is awesome. I can't wait to see this again. Number 3, A Quiet Place. This is part of that resurgence in horror that I was talking about. Really incredible display of tension done in this movie. I really should do something on this movie. Whenever it comes out on home media and I'm able to really dive into it, maybe I'll do something on it in the future. But yeah, good, great movie. I'm sweating my nuts off. Number 2, Annihilation. Go. If you're a sci-fi person, go. Just go. And number 1, I'll say it in the tone of good old chatty chat at WrestleManiac. Hereditary. Wow, this movie still lingers with me.
Fucking lingerer, man.
Yeah, totally.
Linger.
And there's much that I'd want to talk about with so many different people. I want to see it again. There's people keep saying it's like Rosemary's Baby and Exorcist. I got a lot of Omen vibes and vague Rosemary's Baby stuff, but it has parallels to stuff like the Babadook for me. The dread. That's in like the first half, and then the second half goes in a different direction. But really, really incredible movie. That's my number 1 so far. Who knows what happens in the next 3 months, but hopefully I won't be fucking just body drooling. Thank you again for your support. There's videos coming. The Martyrs, Who Would Like That, is coming by July 10th. And then shortly after that, we just watched Solo. That's the next in that series. I don't know what we have planned for Friday the 13th. Maybe, I don't know, suggestions. What do you want to see on Friday the 13th? And who else? See, there's another This Alien video, I had a Savage Cinema plan for Alien, and then life kind of got strange. I don't want to disrespect the process. I really want to pay it the right academic response and homework that it needs. So that may not be right around the corner, but sometime soon. Again, if you want to see something, let me know down below. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Here's to a cooler month. I'm gonna go because I'm roasting.